In the early 20th century, Russia was one of the largest empires in the world, but it was a country filled with deep unrest and serious problems. The nation was ruled by Tsar Nicholas II, the last emperor in a long line of Romanovs. He inherited a throne weighed down by years of political instability, widespread poverty, and growing dissatisfaction among the people. Across the vast empire, ordinary Russians struggled with hunger, poor working conditions, and little hope for a better future. Meanwhile, the world around them was changing rapidly, and the horrors of World War I only made things worse. Soldiers returned home wounded or not at all, food was scarce, and the government seemed unable to solve the nation's many crises. Yet behind the gilded walls of the royal palaces and amidst the chaos of a crumbling empire, there emerged a mysterious and controversial figure who would change the course of history: Grigori Rasputin. Rasputin was a peasant from a remote village in Siberia, a place far removed from the centers of power. He was a self-styled holy man, a mystic who claimed to have the ability to heal the sick and communicate with God. His rough appearance and strange behavior set him apart, but what truly made him extraordinary was the deep influence he gained over the Russian royal family. The Tsarina Alexandra, wife of Nicholas II, placed great trust in Rasputin, especially because of his connection to their son, Tsarevich Alexei. The boy suffered from hemophilia, a rare and dangerous disease that caused him to bleed heavily, even from small wounds. This illness terrified the royal family because it was often life-threatening, and there was no cure. Despite the best efforts of the empire's doctors, Alexei's health remained fragile. Rasputin's role as a healer grew quickly. When he prayed over the boy or simply stayed close, Alexei's symptoms would ease, and the family believed Rasputin had special powers to protect their son. Alexandra, desperate to save her child, saw Rasputin as a blessing, even though many in the court and across Russia viewed him with suspicion. His influence over the Tsarina was unlike that of any other advisor. Alexandra often ignored warnings about Rasputin's character and continued to rely heavily on his guidance. To many Russians, especially those loyal to the Romanovs, Rasputin became a symbol of hope, someone who could save the heir to the throne and perhaps the future of Russia itself. But to others, he was a dark and dangerous figure, a manipulator who used superstition and fear to gain power over the royal family and, through them, the entire nation. By the year 1916, the situation in Russia was growing worse every day. The country was suffering huge losses in World War I, with millions of soldiers dead or wounded. Food shortages became widespread in the cities, causing hunger and anger among the people. Political unrest was rising, and many blamed the Tsar and his government for their suffering. In the middle of this chaos, Rasputin's reputation became a source of anger and fear. Nobles and government officials saw him as a corrupt influence, a threat to the country's stability. They accused him of controlling the Tsarina Alexandra, and by extension, the decisions of the Russian Empire. His name was linked to rumors of immoral behavior, greed, and even blackmail. Some whispered darker stories, saying Rasputin practiced black magic or secret rituals to maintain his grip on the royal family. These rumors spread through the palace and across Russia, making Rasputin one of the most hated and feared men in the empire. A secret group of high-ranking nobles, politicians, and members of the royal family grew convinced that Rasputin had to be stopped before he destroyed Russia from within. They believed that as long as Rasputin lived and influenced the Tsarina, the Romanov dynasty and the future of the empire were doomed. But killing him was not simple. Rasputin had many supporters and seemed protected by something beyond normal human power. The conspirators planned to remove him quietly, hoping to end his influence once and for all without causing a public scandal. Their goal was to save Russia and the monarchy by eliminating the man they saw as the root of so much corruption and suffering. The plan to kill Grigori Rasputin was carefully hatched by a secret and unlikely group of men who feared his growing power. Among them was Prince Felix Yusupov, a wealthy and influential aristocrat known for his charm and daring nature. Alongside him was Grand Duke Dmitry Pavlovich, a cousin of Tsar Nicholas II and a member of the royal family itself. The third key figure was Vladimir Purishkevich, a right-wing politician and fierce opponent of Rasputin's influence. Together, they believed Rasputin was a danger to Russia and the monarchy, and they resolved to end his life in a way that would prevent further damage. Their plan was to lure Rasputin into a trap, kill him quietly, and remove the threat he posed to the empire. On the cold evening of December 16, 1916, Prince Yusupov sent a personal invitation to Rasputin, asking him to visit his lavish palace under the pretense of meeting Yusupov's wife. Rasputin, who was unaware of the true danger awaiting him, accepted the invitation. The palace was warm and richly decorated, in sharp contrast to the bitter winter night outside. As Rasputin arrived, the conspirators prepared a deadly surprise: cakes and wine poisoned with a powerful toxin, reportedly cyanide. They believed the poison would kill Rasputin swiftly and silently, preventing any violent struggle that might alarm others or fail to stop him. However, what happened next shocked everyone. Rasputin consumed the cakes and wine as if nothing was wrong. He ate with an appetite and drank without hesitation, showing no signs of poisoning or distress. Some have speculated that the poison may have lost its strength due to age or improper storage, or that it was neutralized by the sugar and alcohol in the food and drink. Others have wondered if Rasputin's body had developed some resistance to poison over time, or if, as rumors suggested, some supernatural power protected him from harm. Whatever the cause, the conspirators were stunned and frightened. Rasputin remained lively, alert, and even joked casually with his hosts, as if mocking their attempt to kill him. Seeing their plan fail, Prince Yusupov became desperate. He pulled out a revolver and shot Rasputin directly in the chest at close range. This time, the mystic was seriously wounded and collapsed to the floor. Yet astonishingly, he did not die. According to Yusupov's later testimony, Rasputin, though wounded, staggered to another room, seemingly attempting to fight back or escape. The other conspirators rushed to help and fired more shots at him. Rasputin finally fell to the ground, bleeding heavily, but still showing signs of life. In a panic and fearing Rasputin might still survive, the men beat him brutally and wrapped his body tightly in a heavy cloth. The final chilling act in this deadly night was to throw Rasputin's bound body into the icy waters of the Neva River outside the palace. The cold river was meant to finish what poison and bullets had failed to do, to ensure Rasputin would die. For 2 days, his body remained hidden beneath the frozen surface, until it was finally discovered by fishermen who reported the grim find. When Rasputin's body was pulled from the river and examined, the official autopsy painted a disturbing picture. He had multiple gunshot wounds, including a fatal shot to the forehead. However, the most chilling detail was that water was found in his lungs. This meant Rasputin was still alive when he entered the freezing river and ultimately died by drowning. This fact alone added to the dark legend surrounding Rasputin, making many believe that he was a man who could not be killed by ordinary means. The strange and violent circumstances of his death, surviving poison and bullets only to drown in icy water, sparked widespread rumors that Rasputin was protected by dark, supernatural powers. People whispered that he was more than a man, that some unseen force kept him alive against all odds. Whether these rumors were true or simply the product of fear and superstition, they transformed Rasputin from a controversial mystic into an almost mythic figure, a symbol of Russia's doomed last days and the mysterious forces that seemed to shape its fate. For many Russians, Rasputin's death symbolized the end of an era. His death came only months before the Romanov family was overthrown in the Russian Revolution of 1917, and the monarchy was destroyed. Some believed Rasputin cursed the royal family and predicted their downfall. The mystery around his death only deepened as stories mixed fact and fiction. Over the decades, historians have studied Rasputin's life and death carefully. Most agree that while he was no supernatural being, he was a man of unusual charisma and strength. The failure of the poison may have been caused by poor preparation or natural resistance. The chaotic and violent nature of the assassination allowed him to survive longer than expected. Yet the details of that night, his apparent resistance to death, the water in his lungs, the multiple gunshots and the harsh beating, created a myth that would not die. Rasputin's death remains a powerful symbol of Russia's turbulent last days before revolution. His story blends history, mystery, and myth, inviting endless speculation about the power of belief and the unknown. Was Rasputin simply a man with great luck and strong will? Or was there something beyond the physical, a force that protected him until the very end? The truth is lost to time, but the legend lives on, haunting the shadows of Russian history